Have you ever felt like there's more to the world than meets the eye? Like there's some kind of deeper understanding just waiting to be discovered?
That's a feeling a lot of people have. It's that curiosity that drives us to explore and to search for something more.
Exactly. And that's precisely what we're all about here on The Deep Dive. Taking a deep dive into fascinating material to unearth those truly illuminating ideas.
Absolutely. And today we're going to be laser focused on a particularly intriguing section of text.
That's right. We're talking about third, specifically, pages 76 to 97.
This is for those of you who really want to grapple with those fundamental questions about existence,
The big ones.
Yeah, the big ones, the connection between what we perceive and something greater, the nature of the divine, the relationship between the celestial and earthly realms.
The source of creation itself. All of that packed into these pages.
There. And it's dense material, but for those of you who are ready to dive in with us, I think you'll find it incredibly rewarding.
I agree. So let's set the stage a bit here. It's a third, and specifically this section we're focusing on really builds on the foundation laid in the previous sections of the text. Wheelian.
Right. It's like a bridge connecting those earlier concepts to what comes next.
Exactly. And just to quickly recap, I was all about the manifestation of divine essence, right? That initial spark of creation.
Exactly. That first outward expression of the ultimate source.
And then Wuyan took us inward, exploring the internal self-consciousness of divinity. So we have the outward breath of creation and then the inward reflection and awareness.
Precisely. And what Illy in these pages allows us to do is to look at both of these aspects with a deeper and more profound understanding.
So it's not just about the what, but also the how and the why of creation.
Yes. And in this section particularly, we encounter this concept of the internal self-consciousness of the cosmic spirit.
Okay. So we're talking about the universe itself having a kind of self-awareness.
That's the idea.
Yeah.
And it gets into how this universal intelligence perceives itself, how it understands its own existence.
Fascinating. And there are also these hints at Kabbalistic ideas mentioned, right?
Yeah. There are these allusions to Bina and Hokmah, which in Kabbalah are associated with wisdom and understanding.
So there's this connection to a deeper wisdom that's woven into this concept of a cosmic self-awareness.
Absolutely. And another important theme that runs through this section is this dilemma of heaven and earth.
Okay, so this sounds like that age-old question of how the divine or the celestial realm relates to our earthly existence.
Exactly. It's about trying to understand how these two seemingly separate realms are actually interconnected, how the transcendent and the immanent relate to each other.
Right, and the text doesn't shy away from diving deep into these philosophical waters. It actually draws upon the teachings of Philo of Alexandria when discussing this super-sensual world of ideas.
Yeah, Philo, a fascinating thinker who tried to bridge the gap between Greek philosophy and Jewish theology.
And in his view, this super-sensual world of ideas is like the archetype, the blueprint for our physical world.
Exactly. So the eternal and heavenly nature serves as the model for the temporal and cosmic nature. Everything we see and experience in this world is a reflection of those perfect ideas that exist in that higher realm.
So it's like our world is a shadow or a copy of a perfect original.
That's one way to think about it. And within this framework, the divine nature is presented as the source of procreation. It's not just a static blueprint, but the dynamic force that brings everything into being.
So it's an active creative principle rather than a passive set of ideas.
Precisely. And this idea of the divine nature as the source of creation leads us to the concepts of the world above and the world of being.
Okay. So how do those fit into this whole picture?
Well, the world above, or Dia, is essentially this realm of perfect archetypes that we were just talking about. It's the world of pure ideas where everything exists in its ideal form.
And the world of being, or Juandeya, is our world, the world of manifestation, where those ideas take on physical form.
Exactly. And the text delves into the process of primary world creation, which is how that transition from the world above to the world of being takes place.
And I'm guessing this is where those Aristotelian notions of heaven and earth come into play.
You got it. It's not so much about literal heaven and earth, but more about the distinction between a higher realm of causes and a lower realm of effects.
So heaven represents the realm of pure potential, and earth represents the realm of actualized manifestation.
Yes. And the text uses the principles of essentia and existentia to explain this process.
Okay. Remind us what those are again.
Essentia is the inherent nature of something, what it is at its core. It's the potential that something holds.
And existentia is the fact that something exists. It's actuality.
Exactly. So essentia is the blueprint and existentia is the building.
Got it. And together, these two principles create this world system of possibilities.
Right. It's the whole spectrum of what could potentially exist.
Well,
A full menu of possibilities.
I like that analogy.
Yeah.
And out of this interplay between essence and existence arises intelligible nature.
Yeah, this is the realm of pure thought and intellect, where the ideas from the world above begin to take shape.
It's like the bridge between the realm of pure potential and the realm of concrete manifestation.
Yes. And it's fascinating that the text mentions all of these thinkers who grappled with similar ideas. The Sefer, Yetzirah, Philo Giordano, Bruno Hermes, Trismegistus Schelling.
It's like these fundamental questions about creation and the nature of reality have been echoing throughout history.
Absolutely. And a key concept that emerges in this section is the doctrine of the prototype.
Okay, so this prototype is the perfect model upon which everything in the manifested world is based.
Exactly. It's the ultimate blueprint, the original form that everything else is a copy of.
And the text emphasizes the closed and complete nature of this prototype.
It's presented as being perfect and unchanging, the ultimate source of all things.
So if we take this seriously, it means that everything we experience in this world is just a reflection of that perfect prototype.
A reflection may be a slightly imperfect one, but the idea is that everything ultimately originates from that perfect source.
Wow, that's a lot to take in.
It is. And then the text shifts gears a little bit and introduces this concept of the world as a Weenam's dream.
Okay, so we're moving from Greek philosophy to Hindu philosophy now.
Exactly. And it's a powerful metaphor that offers another way to understand the nature of reality.
So Weeman is like the ultimate reality in Hinduism, right?
Yes, the absolute ground of all being.
And the idea is that the world we experience is a kind of dream that Emin is having.
Exactly. And within this dream, Weeman gives each aspect of himself the illusion of independent existence.
So even though we perceive ourselves as separate individuals, we're all actually just facets of this one cosmic dreamer.
That's the idea. And within each individual dream, each aspect of Weeman is also contemplating the totality of other dreams.
So it's like each wave in the ocean is reflecting the whole ocean.
A beautiful image. And through this process of dreaming and self-contemplation, the woman generates consciousness of himself as naturans and naturata.
It's okay, break those down for me.
Naturanodrins is the active creative principle, the force that brings everything into being. It's the verb, the act of creating.
And naturata is the result of that creation, the manifested form, the noun.
Exactly. So everything in existence is both the product of Isam's creative dreaming and a participant in that dreaming.
It's like this beautiful cosmic dance between the creator and the created.
And this dance, this interplay between naturans, and naturata is what gives rise to the birth of essentia and existentia within woman's own essence.
So those principles that we talked about earlier are actually born out of this divine dream.
That's right. And at the boundary between essentia and existentia, we see the emergence of divina natura and partis generatio.
Okay, let's unpack those.
Divina natura is the reflection of divina essentia in the spirit.
And divina essentia is that pure divine knowing, the gnosis.
Yes, it's the ultimate knowledge that not everyone possesses.
So divina natura is like the blueprint for all of creation.
Mm-hmm.
It's the totality of potential existence.
Exactly, and it's represented by the logoi, those individual sparks of divine consciousness that are all interconnected and ordered according to their degree of spirituality.
Okay, so divina natura is the realm of pure potential.
And then we have partis generatio, which is the reflection in the spirit of Orman's self-consciousness in the aspect of the totality of existence, of ultimate differential manifestations potentially contained within singular particular logoi immobile in their readiness for self-affirmation.
So all those logo, the sparks of divine consciousness, are just waiting to manifest into concrete form.
Exactly. And partis generatio is that state of readiness, the potential for all of those individual manifestations to come into being.
And the text clarifies that when we're talking about Eoman's essence, we're talking about divina natura.
But when we're talking about the totality of manifestations, we're talking about their partis generatio.
It's a matter of perspective, whether we're looking at the potential or the actual.
Right, and the text concludes that this aspect of a Mosman's self-consciousness, this interplay between divina natura and partis generatio, is truly the source of procreation.
Because it's within this dynamic that Novan becomes a cosmic logos.
Yes, the totality of prototypes, the world of self-conscious truth, the world above.
And our universe is simply a reflection of that world.
A manifestation of those perfect ideas.
So it's all coming together now.
It is. And the really fascinating thing is that this whole process of creation, this divine dreaming, also gives birth to reason.
So the very act of creating the universe also creates the means to understand it.
Exactly. And the text makes a distinction between greater and lesser reason.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
Divine reason manifests in antinomies, in those paradoxes and contradictions that are inherent in the nature of reality itself.
So it's the kind of reason that can hold two seemingly opposite ideas at the same time.
Precisely. It's a higher level of understanding that transcends the limitations of our everyday logic.
And lesser reason is the kind of reason that we use in our everyday lives.
Yes. It operates within those individual components of binaries. It helps us to identify, categorize, and understand the different parts of the world.
So it's a more limited form of reason, but still essential for navigating our experience.
Absolutely. And the text describes lesser reason as being a tool of knowledge, a means to an end.
Whereas divine reason is the end itself.
Yeah.
It's knowledge in its purest form.
Exactly. And lesser reason helps to prepare the way for knowledge by making possibilities free, by transforming ignorabimus into ignoramus.
So it takes what was previously unknowable and makes it potentially knowable.
Precisely. It opens the door to understanding.
And then divine reason steps in and does the actual knowing.
It's the goal and the essence of knowledge itself.
Wow, that's a powerful distinction.
It really is. And it highlights the different levels and functions of our cognitive abilities.
So we have these tools of reason that help us to understand the world, but there's also this higher level of knowing that transcends our ordinary understanding.
And that's something to keep in mind as we continue to explore these ideas.
Absolutely. So as we wrap up our deep dive into this particular section of T3, pages 76 to 97, I hope you've gained some new insights and perspectives.
We've covered a lot of ground, from the nature of the divine to the process of creation to the very origins of reason.
And even though these might seem like abstract philosophical concepts, they really do have implications for how we understand ourselves and our place in the universe.
They invite us to consider the possibility that there's more to reality than meets the eye, that there might be deeper levels of meaning and purpose that we're just beginning to glimpse.
And that's what makes these deep dives so rewarding, the opportunity to explore these ideas and to expand our understanding of the world.
Absolutely. So as you go about your day, think about how these concepts might resonate with your own experiences and your own search for meaning.
How might the idea of a world system of possibilities influence your choices and actions?
How might the concept of a human's dream change your perspective on your relationships and your place in the cosmos?
These are just a few questions to ponder as you continue your own journey of exploration.
And remember, this is just one small piece of a much larger puzzle. There's always more to discover, more to learn, and more to understand.
So keep seeking, keep questioning, and keep diving deep into the mysteries of existence.
You never know what amazing insights you might uncover along the way.